All right, welcome back to another episode of the Cody Tucker Show. I am he that is Cody Tucker. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, Miss Katie Kingerie. How are you doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
I am great. It is hot as shit, as we've been talking about, but you
Yeah,
know,
it's hot.
yeah, it's goddamn, it's getting rough, but oh well. But yeah, before we start, uh, go ahead and let everybody know what you got going on, where people can find you, all that stuff.
So you can find me on all social media. Everything is Katykins with a Z, 1008. Except for my Twitter is K Kingerie.
Nice, nice. And do you have anything like coming out soon? Like, I mean, how often do you upload content like to your OnlyFans?
So my OnlyFans actually I've kind of not really had much time for recently, but
Okay.
usually I upload every day.
Yeah.
The last couple weeks have been absolutely insane, and the next couple weeks are going to be absolutely insane. I do have quite a few videos coming out soon.
Okay.
Um, I'm trying to think. I think I have a Bang Bros coming out in a couple weeks. So
Nice.
that'll be fun. I'm blonde now, so that's different. It was
Yeah.
brunette for a while, but I'm blonde again. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Do you
I'm
have a
excited.
preference? Like haircut like blonde or brunette?
Blonde.
Yeah.
Definitely blonde.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of upkeep, so I ended up
Mm.
going through a really hard time in my life a couple years ago, and I was like, I'm going back to brunette. And
Yeah.
like 3 weeks ago, I was like, you know what? Time to be blonde again. We have more fun when we're blonde. So
Yeah. See, I tend to like go through phases where I just shave my head. It's always a mistake, but I still do it. And as you
I'm
can
actually
see,
jealous.
jealous. Oh, well, I mean, you were more than welcome to shave your head. No one's like,
I would love to.
so do it. I'll shave it
I
with you.
can't. I can't. I would be in so much trouble. I would have to wear wigs all the time. That's just pain. So
Fair enough. It does feel pretty good, but I didn't realize I have a lot of wrinkles on the top of my head, and you know, it doesn't. It looks pretty rough. Like it
learn that the
basically,
hard way.
yeah, it basically looked like there's a testicle coming out of my neck. That's
Oh my God.
it's kind of, and
That's
somebody
great. I
just
love it.
thank you. Somebody just put a pair of glasses on it and gave it a microphone, but yeah. Oh well.
You know what? It'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that.
It do be like that. In the words of Gandhi, it'd be like that. Yeah. Jesus. So, okay, so how long have you been doing porn? Like, when did you start?
So I've been in the industry for 4 years. I started in
Okay.
OnlyFans before OnlyFans was even relevant. Like
Oh,
nobody knew
really?
what OnlyFans was. I've been on OnlyFans for right under 4 years. And then I got divorced, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna sign with an agency. Let's do the damn thing.
Yeah.
And so I've been with an agency for about 2 years, and I love it.
Yeah. So, do you think that that got rid of any, like, kind of the nervousness of, like, do you think it was easier for you to transition from OnlyFans into, like, I guess if you want to call it like mainstream porn, but as opposed to just going straight into it? Or would you have even
Oh,
been
it was.
nervous at all, anyways?
I mean, I would have been nervous anyways, but I think it was definitely easier.
Yeah.
Um, because when I started OnlyFans, I was just in a really bad place. So like
Hmm.
that was something that I had to push through on a daily basis.
Okay.
Um, but it was kind of just like, like I said, I got divorced, and then I was
Yeah.
like, I was gonna quit doing OnlyFans when I moved back home.
Hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I'm really empowered by this. let's go full swing, go all out, and I
Okay.
did. So
Yeah. That's awesome. I like, did you have any kind of fear about doing it of like, oh shit, like this step from OnlyFans to, the mainstream, like it's a big step, I would imagine. I mean, I've never done either
yeah.
one, to the disappointment of a lot of people, I'm sure, but I mean, I,
Hey, you can
I,
always start one. I got you. I'll shout you out.
hell yeah, I'm down. I mean, look, if I shouldn't be the only one who has to see this, so, but yeah,
Fuck it. I mean,
I mean, I would just imagine it would be like kind of like a hard decision of being like, oh shit, like this is gonna be permanent. Like whether you stop or not, once it's there, like, it's there.
yeah. And that's something that I've helped like a lot of girls, start their OnlyFans. Like that was my big thing when it first started going crazy in quarantine, was like, I was trying to like tell girls like, hey, once it's out there, it's out there. You can't get rid
Yeah.
of it. Like it's a life altering decision. At the time, I was a district manager, and people found out within a week. I mean, I
Yeah.
had people from my hometown messaging me like, hey, I'm pretty sure this girl is pretending to be you. And I'm like, that's actually me. So, and then obviously,
Damn.
like, my parents was another thing, and my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that was interesting for sure.
Yeah.
My parents are Russian and crazy. So
Well, those
it
tend to go together,
was,
so yeah.
yeah, it was, my dad was not happy for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, I think my parents would probably be proud of me just because they'd be like, "Oh, you're not a virgin. We've
You
been
know what?
doubting it for a long time." But I'd be like, "Oh, I mean,
It's different for men though. Like,
it's a
y'all
hundred
can get
percent
away with
different.
that.
Yeah,
Y'all
it's
can so get
completely
away with
different.
that.
No, and which is kind of, I mean, that's the bullshit of it, of just being like obviously people are watching porn for the female actress, yet
Right.
they're the ones who all the like negative misconceptions go to.
Yes.
Like that's
100% agree
it's
with that.
such a shitty double standard. Like, and that's
Right.
like the thing about like speaking to, because I've gotten to speak to quite a few like women who are in like the porn industry, and it's all kind of like the same thing of like, there's just all these misconceptions about us. People think we're like either, drug addicts, or we've had broken homes. Like there's all
Oh
these,
yeah.
and I'm sure that that is the case for some people, just like there are some doctors who
Oh
are
yeah.
drug addicts and some teachers who are pieces of shit. But like you can't you can't enjoy porn and watch it and then have those misconceptions. Like
Yes. I
I hate that.
100%. Yeah. I can't stand it. When people started finding out that like I was in mainstream porn,
Yeah.
there was definitely a lot of backlash, but then there was also um like dudes that I went to high school with that used to like bully the hell out of me. They're like messaging me on Facebook, like, yo, do you want to make some content? This, that,
Oh
and the other.
God.
And I'm like, y'all made fun of me for years, but now that I'm in porn, you want to like,
Oh
now
yeah.
it's okay.
Right. No, I see. I would imagine that that happens all the time. Where like,
All the time.
yeah. Oh God, that's such a pathetic thing.
Yeah.
Like just
And then,
pretend like you're gonna forget that they were
right.
assholes to you, and
Yeah.
then be like, sure, I would love to make content with a dude I went to high school with. Like,
Right, especially somebody that made fun of me or like called me a whore. And I'm like, okay, now that I'm a professional hoe, like now it's okay. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's so.
But then there's also people that are like, yeah, we knew this is the path that you were going down. And they think I'm either like being trafficked, which I'm sure does happen. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
like I'm a drug addict or like I'm not going anywhere in my life or whatever. And it's like, you know what? It is what it is. I love what I do.
No,
Wouldn't change it.
and that's from everyone I've gotten to talk to. That seems to be the end like sentiment. Is like, I love doing this shit, and it is
Yes.
working out well for me. So
Mm-hmm.
why would I stop doing this? And
Right.
I don't blame you at all. Like, I mean, trust me, if I was, like attractive and I'd be doing this shit. I would love to, but I mean, I'd make about 50 cents a day, I would imagine. So
Oh my
I can't
goodness.
live off of that. But yeah, like I
I think you
just
could make more than that.
Thank you. I'm trying to fish for compliments, so I appreciate you taking
I
the
got
bait
you,
on
boo.
this.
I got you.
Thank you. But yeah, I think it's such a fascinating like career path. You know, if you want to call it like a career path, I mean that sounds like some high school guidance counselor shit, but like it
Right.
is, you know, like. But I think
It
it's
is.
fascinating because it's also one of the few industries where women are the number one priority.
Yup.
Like, where the hell is that in any other line of work?
Nowhere else.
Yeah.
There would be very little porn if women weren't the priority.
Exactly. Like when you're on a set, like not that they're treating the guy badly, but do you feel like you're treated like better or
I
given
wouldn't
more
say,
attention maybe? Like
oh, yeah, for sure.
but see, that's my point is like, you know, if you were on like a regular movie set, it would be the opposite. They would be giving
I
like
agree.
the leading actor way more
Yeah.
attention and money
Oh, yeah.
than you would get.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I mean, the dudes kind of they just kind of hang out and they're like, all right, whenever she's ready to go, like, let's do the thing, hair and
yeah,
makeup, get that out of the way. And then, yeah, I mean, the attention's pretty much on me.
right. And that's like the people who are saying like, you know, that this is like bad for women or however they want to look at it. Like it's like,
Ugh,
well, how in the
I
fuck?
hate that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like there's so many people that I know personally who that's like the first thing they tell me like, oh, like why do you talk to like porn stars? Like they're like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I mean, one, it's not like the only thing I do, but still like I'm like,
Right.
I mean, they are having a fucking great time, it sure seems. And if
Yeah.
you're such a like, you know, feminist, then why wouldn't you want the industry
I mean,
that
to be
like
empowered.
exactly, and porn seems like the most empowering thing because for like your whole life or not necessarily you but like women in general are constantly like told to like repress like any kind of sexuality, like
Yep.
feel really shamed about your body, you're never going to be
Oh,
good
yeah.
enough looking. But then there's porn where like you have to be super confident with your body, like.
Yes.
So I don't get it. I don't get that like double standard. Like it's very hypocritical.
It really is. And it's like, I mean, there definitely are moments that like some people can be degrading to where it's
Yeah.
like, you're kind of used as like used. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You're kind of used at some points, but then there's other points that like I've worked with some talent that I've never felt more comfortable in my life and make me feel empowered, and it's definitely helped with like confidence and all that, because you have to be
Yeah.
confident, you have to be comfortable with your own body.
Yeah.
Now obviously we still have insecurities, everybody does,
Right.
but like you have to learn to love those.
Exactly. And well, yeah, and you probably see your body in a more like open way than 99% of human beings.
Yes,
So like you
absolutely.
have to be like, cause for me, like it's just if I happen to accidentally catch a glimpse in the mirror, like on the way to the shower, I'm like, oh fuck, don't do that again. But like for you, like you have to see all the time. So you have to, it's like whenever you hear your voice for the first time and you're like, what the fuck? That's what I sound like.
I
But you do it
Yeah,
enough and you're just like, all right, this is what I sound like. So
literally.
do you think that's kind of similar with like how you view like your body?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely took a while to like just kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that really hit me until I got into mainstream porn.
Okay.
Um, I mean, maybe a little bit before, but as I said, I was going through a really shitty time in my life. So like
Yeah.
I wasn't very confident then. And now it's very different. Yeah,
Right.
it takes a minute to hit you, but it's like I see, I show up on set and like the funny thing is I'll show up on set and producers will be like, there's a bathroom over there you can change in. And I'm
Hmm.
like, dude, I just strip. And I'm like, you know what? You're gonna see me naked in 5 minutes. I literally don't care.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to go into the bathroom to change. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
see me naked in
That's
five
that's
minutes. It
true.
doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, like oh yeah, if you want some privacy, here you go. But
Right.
go ahead and bend over here in about 5 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't understand
Yeah.
that part. And I'm
Yeah.
just yeah, it's kind of like, I'm just used to being naked and loving life.
But people should be. People should be so much more comfortable being naked.
I
Like,
agree.
I mean, we're born naked, and
Right.
and if you had a good enough life, you'll die naked. you know? So,
There you go. Fuck it.
yeah, Jesus. But so do you think right now is the like most confident you've ever been?
150%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
definitely.
fuck anybody that has something negative to say about porn. Like you're like the most
Literally.
confident you've ever been, and it's at like the
Yeah.
height of your career. Like
Yeah,
as your career is just
absolutely.
constantly rising, your confidence is rising with it. So yeah, I mean, how is
Yeah.
that a problem at all? That's so
Right.
crazy.
It can't, it can't be a problem. Yeah, I've never felt more confident, and obviously it takes a minute to warm up to that, but like,
Yeah,
at the same time, like for example, I'm blessed with some nice titties. I grew these
same.
babies myself, like I'm a
Yeah.
34 double D, and I didn't realize that was such like a big thing until I really got into porn.
Oh yeah.
And like I always knew, like, I had great boobs, like whatever,
Hmm.
they're super perky. I have big boobs. Did not realize how important that was until I got into porn and how
Oh
blessed I
yeah.
was.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
it's got to be super uncommon. Because I'll be honest, like I didn't know they were real. I would not have guessed that.
Nobody, literally, I show
But
up
yeah,
on set all the time for like photo shoots and shit, and they're like, "You got a really great boob job," and I'm like, "I grew these. These are homegrown, bro."
yeah. See, no, that's exactly like kind of what I thought was like, because there's like certain boob jobs where it's like, oh, this is obvious. Like it's almost like there
Right.
was nothing there, and then they just stuffed a big
Balloons.
one. Exactly. But then there's some where it's like, oh, they probably already had like really nice boobs, and they just kind of did some shit to it. And that's kind
Right.
of what I thought like of you. I was like, oh, well, I mean, that turned out really good. But apparently that was
Yeah.
just all God. So that's nice.
Yeah, that's one thing that we need to focus more on as far as like, you know, I need to make sure that like everybody knows my boobs are real. Like that's a problem that everybody thinks they're fake. And I'm like, no man, I just grew these. It's not, I
That's how
didn't
you
do
should
anything.
that's how you should introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Katie and I have real tits.
I'll start doing it with you.
All right,
I
bet.
mean, I'm sure people think mine are fake too, so it'd be nice to,
Totally.
I don't want there to be any, false rumors
No
going on.
confusion.
Exactly. So, do you think that's your best feature?
I would say, yeah, that or my smile. I love my smile.
You do have a
Um,
really nice smile. I was gonna say
Thank
that. Well,
you.
it's usually like the first thing that I notice is either is eyes and smile. Like, so if somebody has like really nice eyes or like a really nice smile, I'm almost
Yeah,
like sold. No matter what anything else, everything else is just like a plus.
a plus.
Yeah, but if somebody has like nice of both of those, I'm sold. So yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I never had braces or anything, so I was blessed with that too.
Congrats.
So yeah, the nice smile,
Yeah,
the titties, gotta be the best.
yeah. Definitely blessed. So good job there. Yeah. So whenever you do OnlyFans, do you do a lot of content like specifically for people, like requests?
I do take customs.
Okay.
I take a lot of customs. I'm very blessed that my boyfriend is a producer and also male
Yeah.
talent. So that helps. um,
Yeah.
so we get a lot of requests, a lot of customs on his end and on mine.
Right.
So it's super easy to get that kind of stuff knocked out. I'm not filming on
Hmm.
my iPhone, and then we have girls that come through all the time too. So I'm like,
Hmm.
hey, if you want to do trade content, we can do some trade content. And or if
Right.
you have requests like that you need to fulfill, like I'm here. We might as well do it,
Yeah. Yeah. See, I bet it helps a lot being in a relationship with somebody who's also in porn.
Yes.
It has to make things
Yes.
so much easier.
It
Like,
is amazing.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure that there are people in porn who are in relationships with people outside of it and they're okay, but I bet it's not easy. Like,
It's probably, I mean, it's not easy, and it's probably honestly not very common. Um,
yeah. Yeah.
like I was very lucky. He wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't
Mhm.
looking for anything. He ended up becoming my best friend, and then it just took off from there. And I do camera work for him and stuff. There's no jealousy whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's like it's the most amazing thing
Yeah. But
to
see,
be so open.
and that's where I think most of it comes from is just with not having that jealousy that you would have if you were, dating somebody that worked at like Chili's. Nothing against
Right.
Chili's, it's a great place, but like, like that guy is, it's going to be real unlikely that he's just like, oh yeah, like have a great week, having sex with 10 different guys. Like it's going to be real
Yeah.
hard for him to think that way. Even though he
Right.
should, like, because it's just your work and I mean, you do
Right.
enjoy it,
And
but
what
it's not.
happens, yeah, what
Yeah,
happens on camera is one thing. When the camera's off, it's different.
exactly.
Like I'm a different person when I'm on camera. He's a different person when he's on camera. And then, off camera, like we do our own thing,
Yeah,
so it works. And then
right.
also I love bitches. So
Another
I
thing
have
we have in
like,
common.
I, I love it. I have like this almost cuck thing where I'm just like, I will get worked up like watching all that go down. I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel. Like I love it.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, it is
See, yeah.
stupid.
So that's like, I mean, so you have zero jealousy, like the
None.
opposite. Like you encourage, like to see it, yeah.
Absolutely.
Which I think is
Like he'll
healthy.
do a good scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll do a good scene and like, after they're done or whatever and they're getting ready for the second scene, like he'll walk into the bathroom or whatever and I'm like following him and I'm like, fuck yeah. Or like there's times I feel like girls are probably like, what the hell is wrong with her? Because there's times like I'll be behind the camera and I'll have the camera in one hand and like I'll be cheering him on with the other and I'm like, fuck yes. It's the funniest shit to watch.
That's
And some
hilarious.
people
Yeah.
probably think I'm crazy.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure some
also
girls
like,
are like,
yeah, but I mean, that's such a healthy way to be in a relationship, like to where you can like to be at that level. I mean, nobody is really like to that point. I mean, that's
it's
what I'm saying.
hot, man.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, I don't know if I see like that's the thing is that like I think most guys think like, oh, I could definitely date a porn star. Eh,
No, it's
and
not for
and
everybody.
and I'm like in that same boat. Like sometimes I think I could probably do it, but I think most of me would just be like, I think that even with the fact that I like feel hesitant would just mean like maybe I shouldn't. Like you
Right.
know what I mean. Like I don't know if I could. And I like to think I'm a pretty like open person and I don't have like jealousy, but I don't know. It's like I think rare to just have zero jealousy, like to the level that you have.
Yeah. Um, I can't think of a single time that I've even like had that little twinge of just like this is uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. That's
Um,
yeah.
it's always, I mean, from day one, it's always just been like, that's really hot and I love that. So continue doing what you're doing.
Jesus,
Um,
that's
or
amazing.
like we do like boy girl scenes
Yeah.
all the time. And I love that too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's like the dream scenario for you.
Yes. I get so excited every time I know that there's a model coming in
Oh
that's
my
willing to
god.
do trade content. And
Yeah.
the first thing that comes out of my mouth is I'm like, you down for a boy, girl? Like, can we do
Yeah.
it?
Jesus. We have
So
very different lives.
yeah,
Like really different lives. But I see. So I thought I wasn't that jealous of a person, but now I am kind of jealous. Like I
yeah,
need to
yeah.
trade lives or something. Jesus,
You know what, man?
I never
It's
have that
living the
conversation.
dream.
That you are
I
100% living the dream. Yeah,
find you a porn girl that has no jealousy and is willing to communicate with you. That's the biggest thing is communication. Like if we
yeah.
didn't communicate as well as we do, this would not work.
Oh no,
Would
yeah,
not work.
yeah. What's the like weirdest thing you've been requested like to do as far as like a custom?
Are you ready for this?
I don't know.
I don't think you are.
We'll hope for the best.
All right. So did you know there's a whole community of people that have a chicken fetish?
Jesus, no. I mean, I am from Texas, so it is not that much of a surprise, but
So this is one of my favorite porn stories.
Oh, oh God.
So I get booked for at this time I was still living in Kansas
Hmm.
before I moved to Florida. Actually, I just moved down here like a month and a half ago, finally.
Okay.
But when I was still in Kansas, my agent, who is also my boyfriend, my better half,
Hmm.
um, booked me for this hypnosis shoot. And it was just a Zoom call, an hour. I'm getting my money. I'm like, whatever, easy peasy, lemon fucking squeezy, good. I realized the email that he sends me is super long, and I'm like, I'm not gonna read through all that shit because that's just whatever. I have no boundaries. I literally have like no boundaries.
Yeah.
At least that's what I thought. So next thing I know, I'm hypnotized and I am clucking like a chicken, pretending to lay an egg and doing the chicken dance for an hour, man. An hour.
What the fuck? I mean, I hope,
I didn't read through the email and I didn't see that this was like a potential thing. There was like this whole long list of potential like hypnosis scenarios.
yeah.
And I ended up being the chicken lady. So there was that.
Jesus.
And then it got so much worse. So like we do a lot of live shows with Porn Star Cam House. Like we get booked
Uh-huh.
for that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And the first time we did a live show after that video got released, the comment section was flooded with people being like, can you cluck for me, Katie? Like, can you please cluck instead of moan? Like chicken
What the
jokes,
fuck?
like the whole 9 yards, to the point where like I'm sitting there watching these comments go by. He's trying to distract me because I'm like about
Yeah.
to lose my shit on live. Like, and it
Yeah.
hasn't stopped. They will not stop messaging me. I get constant requests for chicken content, and I'm just like, what have I done?
That is crazy. Like what the
It's
I mean,
so
hey,
bad.
no judgments here, whatever you're into, but for fuck's sake, that is
Right.
wild.
It's crazy. And I'm at the point now, I've been debating on this for like the last 6 months. I'm like, do I just exploit the chicken people and
Yes.
money? I'm making the money. But then again, I don't want to be the chicken girl, man. Like I don't they've chosen me, but I did not want to be chosen.
It's true. It's like the dude from Hootie and the Blowfish. Like he's Hootie no matter what. I mean, he can call himself Darius all he wants, but he's Hootie. And yeah, oh Jesus.
I just yeah. So a
I
lot of chicken
think
content.
maybe like later down the road, like reprise your role as the chicken lady, and it'll just make
Right.
people lose their minds.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you know what? Should I do it? And then there's days that I'm like, why not? I've done
Yeah.
so much weird shit at this point. I do so much fetish content and I've done some weird fetishes, but like the chicken people probably would pay my bills for like the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Easy.
No shit. Like, okay, so what's a fetish that not necessarily that you judge the fetish, but you just don't so besides the chicken shit, like a fetish that you just don't understand, like what is the appeal in this?
Belly button fetish.
Belly button fetish. That's a
That
thing?
is that's a huge thing right now. So I had
Fucking
never heard of
hell.
it. I started booking belly button fetishes probably about a year and a half ago. And I was like, I have
Really?
no idea what I am walking into when I go to this shoot. I have no
Yeah.
freaking idea.
Yeah.
It's basically just like fingering a belly button, eating out the belly button, like playing with the belly button. I
Okay.
don't understand. I really don't. I don't I don't get
Hmm.
it, but it's a huge thing. It's like a huge thing.
Yeah. I don't get
It's
that one. I don't
it's
get
right
that one.
up there with foot fetish. That's how
See
popular it is.
that's
It's right up
mine.
there with foot
Like
fetish.
mine that I don't understand is a foot fetish.
I hate feet.
Don't fucking me too. I hate feet. And people whatever think I'm being insensitive to your fetish. Fuck you. I don't care. Feet are gross. You step in weird shit all the time. Your feet are nasty. I don't care how like hot you are. You don't have hot feet. You just don't. Like,
Thank you.
oh God.
I mean, I get you're into what you're into. I don't care. I had a foot fetish shoot last night. I did like 3 or 4 scenes and it's hard. It's really hard for me. Like I really struggle with putting a foot in my mouth. I can't do it.
Oh fuck.
If somebody I can deal with it, like if it's somebody else fucking with my feet, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just can't.
See, I don't want to do
I can't.
anything to anyone's feet, and I don't want people
No.
touching mine. Like, okay, so one, I shouldn't even say this, but I'm super ticklish, and I hate it. I hate being tickled. It drives me fucking nuts. And my feet, especially, are like ticklish. And so I don't want your feet brushing up against my feet. I don't care if it's an accident. Like, no. Hell
Right.
no. Blech.
It's funny that you say that because I
Jesus.
actually yesterday I did tickling fetish. That's another one that I don't understand. So I did
Uh,
tickling and then I did foot fetish all day yesterday, and I just don't get it. I don't get it.
what was the tickish, Jesus. What was the tickle fetish shoot like? I mean, was that
Um,
kind of fun? I mean, it seems like it could be fun if you're into getting tickled.
right. So how do I explain it? So I shot with a really, really awesome fetish girl from Orlando yesterday. Like
Okay.
she is now going to be my best friend. And if the vibe is there with
Hmm.
fetish and you can actually play off of each other, it can be so much fun. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you're doing. Like we had a freaking blast yesterday. Absolute blast.
Right.
Not my favorite shit. I did not want to put a foot in my mouth. I really didn't want to be tickled because it does nothing for me and I'm really not ticklish.
Yeah.
But it was a blast. If you get the right fetish girls, it's so much fun.
So like, do you look at it as almost like a game when you're doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
I got you.
Like you have to have like that banter back and forth, and
Yeah.
because with fetish, I mean, you're not banging. I mean, you could bang.
Right.
Like
Right.
there's scenes with fetish that you're gonna bang, but if
Mhm.
you're just doing like a 12-minute like foot fetish clip, like you can't just sit there the whole time and say nothing, and then they say nothing, and it's
Yeah.
just kind of a weird thing. So you have to
Yeah.
have like that storyline behind it, like you're my stepmom or my stepsister or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
and like yesterday with the tickling one, like the whole thing was I was trying to fuck her brother, and she found out that I was trying to fuck her brother, so she tied me up while I was taking a nap and she was tickling me to get me to try to act right. Like it was a blast.
A tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time,
Yeah.
trying to fuck her brother.
Yeah. And getting tickled to get straightened out.
Hmm. Yeah.
Jesus. That is amazing. See, like, okay, is there a fetish that you haven't done, like as far as like for content that you would like to?
Not that I can think of. I've done pretty much everything. um Unless there's a fetish out there that but then again, there's a fetish for literally everything.
I was gonna say, I think there might
Everything.
be a lot of fetishes you don't know about. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't know cannibalism fetish was a thing.
oh,
I've
that one's so
shot
fucking.
cannibalism fetish. It's fucking weird, man. It's
Wait, so what
weird.
do you do with cannibalism fetish?
Uh,
I mean, you can't really do
Again,
it.
I
I
didn't
mean,
know. Right, I didn't know what I was walking into.
that's a hell of
This
a
is where I
surprise.
realized I needed to, like, at this point a year and a half ago, I was like, yo, I gotta put some boundaries in place because I can't keep walking in not knowing what I'm walking into.
Yeah, walking in blind is probably not the best way to go. I mean,
Yeah, so next thing I know, I'm dressed up like a fucking Christmas ham with my hands and feet tied together, hog tied, with a fucking carrot in my ass and an apple in my mouth, being buttered up with spices on me. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then there's this fake
holy
oven
shit.
that's made out of like a washer, and they like put me in the oven on this pan. And I'm like, what is happening right now?
That is a moment where you just question, like,
Everything.
what?
That's when I was like, I gotta put boundaries down, man. I gotta
Yeah.
put that.
Holy shit. They turned you into a damn ham. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it
I
was
mean, part of me
it was
wants
very
to just
interesting.
see it, because like now I'm curious. Like I
It
think that's
was
part of the fetish thing is that they start off as just a curiosity of like,
right,
okay, like
right.
there's no way I'm into this, but like I kind of want to
But I
see what
want
it
to
looks
know.
like.
Right.
Yeah. Because there are things that like I'll just be scrolling through like a porn site and see a video and I'm like, eh, I'll look at this. And then suddenly I'm like, well, apparently that was a turn on for me and had no fucking clue. One that I found
Yeah.
out about not too long ago was like surprise sex. So like somebody being
Yes.
like opening a refrigerator and then a guy coming up behind her and just like sticking it in like
Yeah.
it's there's something about the look on the face of like the eyes like getting big like
Like,
that.
oh
Ooh.
shit.
Yeah, that shit. Like I saw that and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, where has this been my whole life?" Like,
Right.
God. So yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
I think that's how a lot of fetishes work. It's just you don't know you even have it until you see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's the curiosity. And then, like you said, it kind of turns into something like, oh shit, I didn't know I like that, but now I like it.
Yeah.
Like now I know.
Or it does the opposite and you're like, well, not into this. And
Now I
you
know I
go
don't
right.
like it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if when you were a kid, like, so I used to watch that show Real Sex on HBO whenever I was a kid, where they would just examine different fetishes.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I
there were,
vaguely remember something like
so
that.
one that became like a huge turn on for me, like since I was a little kid, was like girls with long tongues. Because there was this girl who was I think she was
Really?
a dancer, yeah, but she was like go around to these like barber shops and do like lap dances in like Atlanta, and her tongue was like super long, like way past her chin, and she would just like stick it out. And I was like, holy fuck, like this is
Hey, I
amazing.
mean, yeah.
I
Like
yeah,
I
so
could totally see that.
I know that became one, but then they showed a bunch of people dressing up like horses having sex with each other. And I was like, well, not into this shit. Like, like I knew from a young
Yeah,
age that it ain't working for me.
yeah, probably wouldn't do anything for me either.
No? Or nay?
I don't
Yeah,
even know that I
Jesus.
have any fetishes, besides like I said, the whole cuck thing. Like,
Yeah,
love that shit.
yeah.
Um, or I like really fucking rough sex.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, that's for
Besides
sure a
that, like,
fetish. I mean,
yeah, I mean
yeah.
that's true. I really just want my ass beat. That's honestly what it comes down to.
Okay. Like Fight Club.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And bless my fucking boyfriend's heart. He's just like, I can't do it because I can't hurt you. And I'm like, I want you to
No,
hurt me.
I know, but that's the thing for like, okay, so me and him are very similar in that like view because it's hard for me to like do it because I'm a pretty
Yeah,
big dude and I've always just been afraid to like use like a lot of force because
right.
I'm like it's like of Mice and Men when the dude's pets the dog to death because he doesn't
Yeah,
know how strong he is. Like, I mean, I'm not
right.
that strong, but I'm always worried about it. So like, if somebody's like, "Oh, choke me," I'm like, this could go bad.
Yeah,
like I don't want to just be like snap and be like, "Oh, I didn't know I'm a murderer."
right.
Like yeah.
Yeah, he's the same way. He's like, it literally took probably 6 months for me to get him to like choke me because he would do it like super light and I'm like, no, like choke me. I don't
Uh
want to. I don't want to breathe.
oh, I know. See,
Like, please.
I've told this story before, but there was a girl that I got with like a couple years ago, and it was the first time I'd even met her. And then like I went back to her apartment, had sex, and like almost as soon as we started having sex, she was uh, like you can choke me if you want to, and I was like, don't want to. She's like, well, oh, I thought you were gonna. I didn't know
Oh,
you were gonna say
choke me.
that, so no, just choke me. And I started to, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, I don't even know your fucking middle name. Like I can't just sit
Right.
here and choke you. Like, and I was like, and what if like I don't know that I'm like doing it
Hurting
wrong?
you.
Like, oh man, and
Yeah.
it was weird. Like I was just like, I don't know. I have to be. We need to have the lights on at least.
Right.
Like, it's like I can't do this in the
I
dark.
need to know if you're okay.
Yeah, like it was, but I mean, I understand like where the desire for it comes from. Like I get it. I wasn't like, oh, what the fuck, you want to be choked? Like
Right.
it was a problem with me. Like I didn't think
Yeah.
badly of her or anybody that wants to get choked. It's just me being like, I'm afraid that I'm gonna do something wrong. And
Right.
it's hard to
Yeah. I mean,
explain that one. Like,
there's a fine line, and it's definitely something you have to have like an open conversation about before you can really get into it. And I'm like,
yeah,
I've always been really deep into like the BDSM community. So like
okay,
I'm used to having like safe words. I'm used to, like, when you do scenes and you're actually in a community like that, like you have contracts, you go over your do's and don'ts, like
yeah,
you don't break that shit.
right,
And I think for a lot of people, like with things like that, if you don't have that conversation and you
hmm
really don't know what you're doing, you actually can hurt somebody.
for sure.
So I could see like the fear behind like, I don't want to hurt somebody, you know?
Right. No, exactly. And that was the thing is like I don't want to inadvertently hurt you.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I like you. Like that's not what I want to do, but like, but I'll do I mean, I'll do anything somebody wants me to do basically. I just need to
Yeah.
be like really aware of what the fuck is going on. So lights
Right.
on, music off. Like I need to be able to hear
Yeah.
what like I got to have full alertness when you know. Oh
No,
my
I get
god.
that.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I've learned from porn too, is like, you know, it, it's nice to actually have people that know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
and second of all, like, for example, like if I sleep with a dude that's not in porn, somebody will choke me the wrong way where it's like, okay, you're literally going to crush my esophagus. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
fuck me up.
Right.
Or like, pulling hair, like you're supposed to go at the base of the neck. Most people just like pull the ponytail, just raw dog that shit. And I'm like, oh, that hurts. That doesn't feel good.
Yeah, no shit.
Versus
Yeah.
people in the industry that know what they're doing. They're like, hey, I actually know how to do this. It's nice.
See, porn to me is like very similar to professional wrestling. Like
I like it.
they don't I mean, sometimes they get hurt, but for the most part, they're not getting hurt because they both know what the fuck to do. And if
Yes.
somebody like when me and my brother were kids, we wrestled one time and he jumped off the bed and broke my arm in half. Not a great moment for me, but 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 it was because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. If we were professional wrestlers, we wouldn't have done that. Like
Right.
we were just copying what we saw on TV, which we shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
Not professional wrestling's fault. In the same way that like if a guy or a girl, like whoever is watching porn and is like using it as a learning tool, that's not porn's fault.
Never.
But it's not a learning
Right.
tool. Right.
Right.
But
It's
but
not.
people want to blame porn for that. Like they want to blame like, oh well,
Right.
you're teaching people the wrong things. Like, well, no, this isn't a lesson. This is
Right.
this is professional wrestling. Like we are acting, we're having a
Exactly.
blast, and this is a exaggerated version of reality.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because I will say, like in the past, before I was in the industry, like there were plenty of dudes that would try shit they see on porn.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's what looks good for the camera. A
Yeah.
lot of times it's not. A lot of times there are really uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's not great all the time,
Right.
but it looks really good for the camera.
Exactly.
So like talk to your partner. Like what is
Yeah.
your partner like? Communicate with your partner, like does your partner like this? Does your partner like that? Does this fucking hurt?
Yeah. No,
That's
exactly.
how you learn.
No, like when I lost my virginity. Oh fuck. So when I lost my virginity,
I need to hear this story
I
now.
know I made a big mistake, but it was
Oh boy.
because okay, well, one I was like 15 and an idiot, but like I was just going off of what I saw in porn. Um, a little bit of a backtrack. She was on her period, didn't know what really most of that meant. I just knew that we weren't going to be able to have like actual sex, but I still wanted to come over, so I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. Then she said we could do anal. I was like, perfect. That probably feels the same.
Oh no.
But so I put the condom on, and I'm just used to seeing porn, and an anal scene in porn. There's no like slow ease into it. They just push right
Yeah.
in, and it was almost like it was meant to go in there.
Oh,
Apparently, that is not what reality is, and I just shoved it in, and I heard a loud pop, and then her like yell like "What the fuck?" and like kind of scream, and then I looked down, and I thought I had broken my dick. But I broke the condom in half.
oh my god.
Which they're pretty tough. Like that latex is no joke. And yeah,
Right.
so that kind of
Oh my god.
put a damper on the mood. But
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
yeah.
sure.
But I could easily blame porn for that. But it's not porn's fault. They weren't saying like,
Right.
"Hey, this is how you do this."
This is how, yeah, it's not a
Right.
tutorial.
I
Like,
just shouldn't have been so stupid and think, "Oh yeah, I could just put it
it
right
just goes
in."
in there.
Yeah, so well, now you know that. So
Right.
there we
Well, I
go.
mean, I've had my experiences with anal, and I've definitely had a couple bad experiences with anal about the same thing. I had to
Yeah.
get internal stitches one time. That was a
Really?
thing. Yep.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, it's not
Jesus.
fun. 10 out of
Fuck
10,
no.
not recommend.
God damn.
But like being with somebody that is in porn, like that
Yeah.
does a lot of anal scenes, like,
Hmm.
he knows what he's doing. He's not just like, boom, bitch,
Like
you
me.
gotta
Yeah.
ease into it.
Yeah. Well, it would have been nice to have had like some lesson,
Mm-hmm.
because, for both of us, really. Like it,
Yeah.
it really ruined my first time, but,
Oh,
well.
that sucks, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. Oh, well.
If it makes you feel any better, I lost my virginity in a tree. So,
In a tree.
in a fucking tree.
like a tree house or just like hanging
No, like on
like
the branch of a big ass tree.
that is amazing. No, that doesn't make me feel better. My story sucks and yours is cool as shit. How was that gonna make me feel better? You had
Dude,
Tarzan sex.
I did have Tarzan sex, but I also fell out of the tree. I didn't hurt myself,
Oh,
but I fell out of the tree. Sounded like a great fucking idea at the time. It's a
yeah,
great story now, but
in a tree.
few
How high up?
beers, probably like 20 feet. I mean, we were up there.
That's yeah, that's not low to the ground by any means.
No, I grew up in the fucking country, so like
Holy shit.
I'm used to things like that. And I tell that story, and like city people look at me and they're like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I just fucked in a tree, man." Like,
Oh no, I think
it's
it's a
country
great
kid shit.
thing to do. Yeah, I think it's a great story. I mean, yeah, there's some safety concerns, but oh well.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, my God. I mean, that's an amazing first time. That makes me feel way worse.
I've got I've got some wild stories if you can't
Yeah.
tell.
Oh well, I would imagine. I mean, all of mine are just like you kind of just shake your head and you're like, wow, your decision making is not good. I'm like, oh yeah, pretty much. That's
It's like that sometimes.
God.
Don't always
So
make the best decisions.
what is something on your list of like won't do? Like, I mean, like if you're giving it to a producer or director, whoever it is, like what are some things that are on the list? Like, I ain't doing this.
So, um, trying to think. I won't do double anal. First of all, I'm not even
Okay.
right now. I'm not even booking for anal scenes. Like, all if
Okay.
my boyfriend and I get booked for an anal scene, that's fine. I don't fucking trust anybody else at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you did have
um,
surgery on your yeah,
yeah,
so yeah.
basically. But I mean, I actually will be booking for anal scenes pretty soon. But the problem with that is once you start booking for something like that, that's all you're gonna get booked for a hot minute. And I'm just not
Yeah.
ready to just do just anal for a while. Like, but the
It's
other thing,
understandable.
every time I tell people this every freaking time, they're like, "All right, what are your boundaries?" Don't
Okay.
punch me in the face because I hit back and I hit back hard. Like, I will hit back hard. That's never been an
Holy shit.
issue, but I'm like, let's just get that out there now because I never know. So I'm just like,
Yeah, yeah.
punch me in the face, I'm gonna hit you back. I did 11 years
Okay.
of MMA. I ain't fucking around. Um,
Jesus.
my life is wild. Other than
Yeah.
that, I mean, I don't, I don't have boundaries. Feet, besides
Yeah,
the
yeah.
foot thing, which I said I don't like feet. I
Right,
mean,
right.
face fucking, I'm mostly okay with it. That's usually on my don't list
Okay.
unless I'm booked for it. If I'm booked for it, then like I know I'm not going to be able to have food in my stomach. I mean, I could. I just really prefer not to vomit and then have to like swallow it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I know to show up prepared for that, but I can't just have
Yeah.
it thrown at me and it's like, all right, today we're doing face fucking, and it's like that can't happen.
Yeah.
But and it's
Jesus.
also it can be uncomfortable sometimes. So
Seems
yeah,
like
that's
it.
other than that, that's really pretty much it. I have like no boundaries. I'm open to
Hell yeah.
anything.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. As long as the shit you like doing, then oh
Right.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I know like we're kind of pushing it on time, but like
Oh, you're good.
last question. If you could do a scene with any celebrity, boy or girl, or both, uh, who would you pick?
Oh man. I was not prepared for this.
Oh,
You know what? Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer
If I
Aniston.
could
Ooh,
bang any actual celebrity, Jennifer Aniston.
that's a good one.
100%.
Jennifer Aniston
100%.
still looks amazing.
She's so hot, man.
Yeah, she's super hot.
Or honestly, I mean, other than that, Billie Eilish. I
Oh
would
yeah,
do
yeah.
so many fucking things to Billie Eilish. So many things. Uh,
Nice. Hell yeah. I'm with you
but
on
I
both of
can't.
those. Yeah,
I really can't think of like. I don't know. I'm like super gay, so I lean more towards women than I do men.
I got you.
So
Yeah,
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 definitely,
yeah.
Jennifer Aniston, Billie Eilish.
Who was like your childhood crush? like celebrity crush, like as a
Mm.
kid growing up. Mine was Carmen Electra and Lil Kim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Jesse McCartney was mine, actually.
yeah.
I had
Yeah,
actually I was talking to my
well,
dad about this about a week ago. I had this man plastered all over my room. Okay. And I was
you,
like 13 years old. I thought I was gonna marry this man, like love of my life.
well,
I
you did.
literally had an email that was like dedicated to fucking Jesse McCartney.
Well, you did say you were into
100%.
girls, so yeah. Sorry, Jesse
You
McCarthy,
know
if you're
what?
listening.
He was an attractive young man, and I
Right,
was all about it.
right, like Clay
All
Aiken.
about it.
He's attractive, I guess. No, I shouldn't be shitting on Jesse McCarthy. He's wherever you are, Jesse. We're praying for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? He's trying to make his comeback right now, and
You know,
he
I
popped up on
might.
my Pandora the other day, and I was like, all right,
I think I'm thinking of Aaron Carter.
you're thinking of Aaron Carter because they look
Okay.
exactly the same. You're
And I
thinking of
think
Aaron Carter.
Aaron Carter might be the one that needs like our prayers. Jesse McCarthy's probably
Yes,
doing
Aaron
just
Carter
fine.
is the one that needs the prayers. Jesse McCartney was fine. He's got like a super hot wife.
Oh, well,
Actually,
shit.
I hate that bitch because she married my love of my life. Damn it.
Yeah. Well,
But
hey,
yeah, it's Aaron Carter that was like, I don't remember what he did. I think he was like super addicted to drugs or something.
that's right. Okay.
I'm
Sorry,
pretty
Jesse
sure.
McCarthy. I mean, not really sorry, because whatever, but you know, it's an honest mistake. My God. Yeah,
Oh boy.
that is might be the most wild thing you've said this whole time. So you're into
Really?
Jesse McCarthy, yeah. Jesus.
I still probably honestly I probably still have posters somewhere like in my storage unit. I probably
My
still have
God.
posters because like I clung to those things for fucking life, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
See, like, I know as a kid, like, you know, like the whole gay for a day thing, like that guys will
yeah.
do. Mine was always Jared Leto. I was like, God, Jared Leto is an attractive dude, but he is a fucking. Wait, you don't have any connection to Jared Leto, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, because he is a fucking creep.
Is he? You know,
What?
I get the creep vibes. I can totally see that.
Whatever it is you're thinking, it's a million times worse.
Oh God.
He is.
Really?
He's a.
Oh,
I could tell you like later if you are curious, but because there's no telling if he's listening right now. I mean that dude. I'm terrified of him. Like
oh
he is
my God,
a
that's
fucking
hilarious.
creep. But I mean he's like 50 years old and still looks like he's 25. So I mean
That's
it's
true. That's
working. But
true.
yeah. Anyways, good shit. But sorry we had to go down that road, but what better way to end?
I
God,
love it.
I know there's gonna be a Jared Leto under my bed tonight. God,
Probably.
yeah. It's like just when you think
Oh my
you're
God.
safe, there's a Jared
Gonna
Leto
grab
next
your
to you.
ankles in the middle of the night.
Oh my God, that. Oh my God, that used to be one of my biggest fears as a kid, and I would have to run and jump onto my bed. Cause
Me freaking too, man. I was terrified of anything under the bed.
yeah, well, you just brought it back for me now, and it's gonna be
I'm
Jared Leto's
sorry.
his
I'm sorry.
tiny supple hands grabbing my ankle. Jesus, oh no.
Oh my God. What better way to end it?
Yeah, well, thanks.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Well, before we go, I guess one last time, like, where can people find you, follow you, subscribe to whatever you're doing, all that.
Katykins1008 on Instagram and OnlyFans. And my Twitter is Kingerie.
Awesome. And you can follow me at MySpace and farmersonly.com. All right.